All right, here we go.
Hello, welcome everyone.
Hello, how are you guys?
Doing well. How are you?
We're excited.
Oh, very nice. Everyone, if you're not familiar, I'm PapaSmurfin. I'm the leader of the Red Panda Tribe. Quite honored today to be here with Emily and Alyssa from the CCK, our Center for Courageous Kids. Um, I'll give you guys a little kind of breakdown as to why I chose them. When we were looking around for places to donate money to, I have a lot of interests and I spent a lot of time on the Giving Block, kind of taking a look at different groups, and especially during the pandemic time, I just felt that I felt extremely lucky being in the position that I was in, but I knew that a lot of people at a lot of places didn't have such great time currently, and that probably impacts kids and families of kids that are sick in a much broader way. Um, so I figured they would be an excellent group to kind of introduce to you guys. I did some research on the Charity Navigator, and they have fantastic scores of 90%. They only use about 8% of their donations on administrative tasks, and they definitely lean into crypto. So I figured I would kind of set the stage a little bit, and then introduce Emily and Alyssa, and have them give you guys a little breakdown as to the program.
Yeah, well, thank you so much for doing all of that research on us and choosing us for such a wonderful um, program like this one. We are grateful for the platform to speak about the Center for Courageous Kids. And yeah, we're excited to get to know more about the cryptocurrency and crypto donation community. And this is a great place for us to kind of be introduced. So, um, wonderful introduction to the Center for Courageous Kids. We are a nonprofit, as you have to be associated with the Giving Block, and we're located in Kentucky. Um, but we serve children and families from all over the United States and other countries too. So we offer a year-round camping program, fully inclusive, fully accessible to children and their families with disabilities, medical conditions, serious illnesses, um, and we do it all free of charge. So no family, no camper that participates in our program is charged even $1 to come to the Center for Courageous Kids. So we can do all of that because of wonderful connections and, of course, relationships with donors and individuals who care about our mission. So we have two unique programs that we offer. We do our family retreat seasons in sort of the school year, I guess you could say, in the fall and the spring. So moms and dads, brothers, sisters, anybody that lives in the home with the diagnosed child can come for a weekend retreat at the Center for Courageous Kids and spend time here on site as a family doing all of the activities that we have planned for them. And then in the summertime, we host independent summer camps. So the diagnosed child comes independently from their family, just like a lot of us, if you ever experienced um, a summer camp, I guess summer, or just um, maybe it was a tradition for you to go summer after summer. Maybe you got a one-time summer experience, or you went someplace summers in a row. A lot of us have that same sort of those memories in our childhood of summer camps where we met our best friend, or we had a really cool learning moment, or we learned a skill or a hobby that we still participate with today. And so we offer that for the diagnosed child independently to come for four nights and 5 days to spend a week on site with other children who experience the same diagnosis as them and kind of live the same type of life as them with the disability that they may have. So those are the two unique program offerings that we have at the Center for Courageous Kids, and we do all of that with healthcare partnerships with local children's hospitals in our area, and just great relationships with doctors and nurses that can help us recruit campers that need the services we provide.
That's fantastic. Yeah, I noticed everyone should take a look in the flight deck chat because you guys have been posting amazing pictures of the campers and a 360 experience. But I wanted to point out how you guys serve so many children from around the country. It's a pretty amazing photo of all the different states that you guys have impact in.
Yeah, you know that's something that was something I really wanted to make sure that was brought up today during this AMA, because with cryptocurrency and crypto donations, it's a currency that that kind of knows no bounds when it comes to countries and state lines and things like that. So children with disabilities are everywhere. It doesn't matter what state you live in, what country you live in. Being born with a disability or being diagnosed with a medical condition in childhood is something that everyone who lives in this world may experience. So knowing that crypto donations and cryptocurrency can change lives all over the world, CCK can as well. And so we have served 13 other countries to date, as well as the states here in the US that we've served too. So you can kind of see there at the bottom those countries that we've been able to welcome campers from, and we hope to only see that number grow as the Center for Courageous Kids gets older as well.
Yeah, that's amazing. I'm also really impressed with how many different activities you guys have for the kids. I know camp was really important to me, when I was a kid, and I could only imagine to get to hang out with other kids that are in a similar situation. That must be really powerful to see.
Yeah, it's something that we get, and I'm sure Alyssa has several stories as well, but when we go out and speak about the Center for Courageous Kids in the community, people who have never heard about us, or it's funny, people that do know about us, when they hear and come and see what we do, they see pictures or they come and experience our facility firsthand, we're always met with surprise of like, this is not what I expected. So yeah, if you take a look at our facility shots or you go to our 360 tour, for those of us who do have memories of a camp experience, sometimes you might be thinking very rustic, like out in the woods. Maybe you've got screened in porches and not a lot of air conditioning in every building, or, bugs that you kind of have to befriend throughout the week while you're there just because they're part of the scenery.
Oh yeah.
The Center for Courageous Kids, we like to say that we're like no camp out there right now, but we're tired of being the best kept secret. So it is something where the children that we serve, we can't necessarily have them in the same conditions that a lot of traditional summer camps are exposed to. So it is sort of a resort camping experience where we have that mix of indoor and outdoor, where you can get um, a good mesh of those expectations you have when you think of summer camp, like archery and going down to the lake and getting into a boat or fishing. Arts, putting your handprint on something, and arts and crafts and getting a little bit messy with paint. But we also have things that are really specialized that our community seems to gravitate towards and really grab a hold of, like music therapy and cinematography. And we have plans right now. One of our biggest projects is for a living arts building where we can really dig deep into some of the performing arts, as well as visual arts and some of those professional arts that people can make a career out of, as well as living with certain disabilities. So like graphic design and different things like that. So we're excited to kind of put together a program in the near future where we can get some counselors in here to help kids dive into those program areas as well, that we hope it sparks a lifelong passion.
Yeah, it's really fantastic. I'm a designer in my outside of NFT world, so
Oh,
it's
wonderful.
fantastic to hear. And is that what you guys would be looking to use the donation for, if you're picked as our charitable group?
Yeah, I can speak to that. So we have multiple projects going on at all times. We are really grateful that our facility was built all at the same time. We were founded by the late Betty Turner Campbell, and Miss Betty's father founded the Dollar General stores. So
Wow.
had Miss Betty's vision. She had a son who battled pediatric cancer, and after seeing a medical camp in Florida, she said, this would have changed my son's life to have something like this. So she spared no expense in making sure that we had everything that we needed, and removed every barrier to access that our kids could face. You'll notice as you look through those pictures, there's no stairs. Um, there are ramps everywhere. There's extra wide doors. So unlike a lot of nonprofits who have to raise the money in order to build, right, we were able to open our doors in 2008 with everything that we could need. I see a question has rolled in there about how many kids we can support. So we have room for 128 campers during a week of camp. That means we serve about 3,000 kids each year. So we've done all of
Wow.
that with the facilities that we have on hand. And again, thanks to Miss Betty's generosity, we opened our doors debt free and we remain debt free. So as our populations grow, we serve new diagnoses every year. Yeah, we are looking at a capital campaign to add, as Emily said, a living arts building, some new program areas, and expand the things that we already have. So I can't say that this gift would be used for construction of something specifically right now. What
Sure.
we do have the privilege of saying is, again, thanks to Miss Betty's Foundation's generosity, 100% of every gift is used for our kids. So that 8% of administrative tasks is traditionally funded through a grant that we receive from her foundation. So it gives us, unlike a lot of nonprofits, it's an incredible place to be in, to say that every donation goes directly to benefit our kids. So it's neat to see how all of those gifts can come together to expand programming, whether it is building new buildings or making more space for the things that we already have.
Yeah, that's really fantastic. Um, and I noticed that you guys work with, all types of, disabilities, kids with all types of things going on. So, what are kind of your major programs? Where do you see maybe the most need currently with your program? And, do you have any specific areas you'd like to go in the future?
Yeah, that's a great question. So one of the things that kind of sets the Center for Courageous Kids apart, where there are other medical camps that exist in the United States and other countries too, but we are able to offer programming to a lot of the rarer conditions that some of the other camps do not support right now. That doesn't mean that they won't in the future. But yeah, you can see from our pictures, we do a lot with children who have physical disabilities, whether that be limb differences or spina bifida, cerebral palsy, things like that. Muscular dystrophy, the more rare spinal muscular atrophy. But then we also do a lot with intellectual disabilities like autism and Down syndrome, and really some rare genetic disorders that don't even have I guess, diagnosis names to them. They're more just classified by their chromosome number
Yeah.
because they're that rare. So, what we really look to hope be able to continue to do is, even though we run a year-round program, we hope to be able to, with our recruiting efforts and with our partnership building, is to, like I said, we work with local children's hospitals. So when Alyssa was talking about our founder, Miss Betty Turner, she really tried to look at the children's hospitals in our area. So even 4 to 5 hours away, we have a good 5 or 6 children's hospitals, large children's hospitals that are located near us, so that as we grow those connections, we can be able to offer programming to even more disabilities. So we try to make sure that we're fairly dividing up our calendar each year to offer programming to those kids who come back year after year and don't have a lot of programming offered to them through other organizations. But we also want to leave room on our calendar to keep those sessions open for new diagnosis and illness groups that need recreational support as well. So what we would love to be able to do in the future, and where we can always see ourselves growing, is being able to develop outreach programs where we go to specific children's hospitals or to specific doctor's offices and things like that, so that we can bring camp to the kids. Children who are inpatient and are receiving treatment in the hospital, is there a way we can bring camp to them? So we'd love to have a secondary program team in the future that's sort of just on deployment out in the community and doing activities and bringing them to where the kids are, knowing that some of our kids are not going to be able to get to us at any given stage of their life.
Yeah, that's a very good point. I see a few questions come in.
Yeah, great questions coming in. So we do have a mix of paid and volunteers um, here at camp. So traditionally, in a regular summer, we'd hire about 60 full-time counseling staff. And those are going to be a lot of college students in a variety of degree programs who want the hands-on experience of getting to be alongside. Maybe they're going into nursing or special ed or something like that and want to spend time in a hands-on experience. But we also have just a huge volunteer group. We have a full-time volunteer recruiter who spends her time filling those weekends. So we have day volunteers who will come and help in a program area. They help in the horse barn. They're going to wash dishes, variety of things. And then we also have some really great professional volunteers. So our pharmacy, for example, we have a fully functioning pharmacy here on site. That pharmacy is going to be staffed by volunteer pharmacists who are going to make sure that we don't have any issues with medication that week. Another great question about how we manage the different disabilities. So we do have different camps for different diagnoses. So a week of camp is going to be all like diagnoses, and sometimes it's as simple as we'll take Down syndrome for example. Everybody is going to probably kind of fall into the same category there. But then there are some diagnoses that we're able to kind of group together because they're going to need the same kind of care. Blood disorders, for example, epilepsy and other neurological things. So what we're looking for is creating community, not just within our campers, but those family weekends as well. Being able to bring mom and dad together. Our family weekends offer incredible respite and care for those parents who sometimes roll in pretty weary, right, from care and mothering and parenting other children. But it also builds community because you get to link arms with parents who are walking the same road that you are. And siblings get to be with kids their age who have a brother or sister who has the same diagnosis, and they're just kind of living the same life experience. So it's been a really great model for us. And I see Necrotic has asked you, we do have a week for Spina Bifida. That would be our physical disabilities week.
Yeah, so we have that in the summer. That's a huge week for us, for the kids to be able to come independently, like Alyssa was just saying, for the families to get respite. I just got an email this morning from a mom who, her son is 7. She's just heard about us from a social worker at the Cincinnati Children's Hospital. And she said he's got severe physical disabilities, but he's got some other things going on too, like a heart condition, things like that. She said, we haven't had a full night's sleep in 7 years. And we're really looking for a place where we can trust to have our child stay a few nights away so that my husband and I can spend time with our 4-year-old daughter. So stories like that do happen to us just every day, and it is so important to have a respite facility, which we're not just a respite facility, but to have a respite opportunity like that for the summer where the parents drop their child off and can trust us with the 24/7 medical coverage to take care of their child. Um, is a wonderful thing to have. But when speaking specifically about a spina bifida camp, that brings up another, with our weekend retreat sessions, we work with a partnering group out of Kentucky, the Spina Bifida Association of Kentucky. And so we work with them to help during that session, just help recruit families to come as, family retreat guests. So we have that weekend specifically for children with spina bifida, but then we have our physical disabilities camp in the summer where it's going to be a mix of physical disabilities, spina bifida being one of them.
Yeah, it's really amazing. I didn't really think about, parents not having any, break and obviously spending so much time wanting to care for their kids. It's amazing that you guys give them kind of an opportunity where they don't have to worry too.
Well, just to echo too what Emily said, not having a solid night of sleep in 7 years, those parents, they're weary. That tells me that they're weary to leave their child with just anyone, right? So
Totally.
that's where our family weekends really come into focus. Before our families come and will send their child for an independent summer camp, they come to a family weekend. They're going to meet our medical staff. They're going to meet our year-round staff. They're going to see the medical center here. They're going to see the pharmacy. They're going to see the care that we can give. So when that independent camp application becomes available, they're willing to apply because they know that that child is going to receive the absolute best care on the planet. It's not an exaggeration to say that we have parents who will roll in with literally a tackle box looking thing
Oh,
full
I'm
of young
sure.
with schedules and times and all of those things that have to happen for that child. So to know that you're leaving them in hands where they will be cared for, but also that they're going to have the best fun ever. We say all the time, our kids here know all the time. They can't go there. They have to, their wheelchair doesn't fit in that place, or there's only stairs, there's no ramp, or nobody can check your blood sugar for you, or you can't self-cath. So because you can't do a self-catheter, you're not going to be able to do spend the night with your girlfriends. To be able to say yes to all of those things, that we can handle all of that and take care of them, just gives so much confidence for our parents to be able to entrust those special kids with us.
Yeah. I see there's a question about if there's a wait list, what is that like? So for our families who apply, we have a camp admissions team that is a part of our full-time year-round staff, and so they're going through the applications, and since it is an opportunity offered free of charge to the families, we operate a little bit on a first come first serve mentality, but we can't always. We like to try to get as many new families in as possible, so our camper admissions team works really hard because those families who have been here over and over again, they know how to get in line as quickly as possible when the application opens up. So we try to make sure that we operate as fairly as possible in regards to allocating spots available to new families, allocating spots for every session available to return families. And then if anyone is on a wait list, then we try to contact them first for when our new yearly schedule opens up for an application. So there may be another session later in the year. Let's say they've applied for one of these March weekends that we're going through right now. They may be eligible for a camp that's happening in September. So if they're in the wait list for March, we might be able to get them in September, and we'll have that one-on-one conversation with them over the phone, or we'll just try to give them priority next year when their session rolls around for the following year's calendar, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it's nice that you guys do a balance of, families that have already been there and try to find new people to come and enjoy the camp.
Mm-hmm.
This is fantastic. I mean, you guys have made my job very easy here, being great stewards of your organization, and it seems like a lot of people in the community have been very touched by your work, um, and
I think,
we definitely thank you for doing it.
well, thank you. Thank you for giving us the opportunity to talk about it too. I think when you hear about especially the variety of diagnosis that we serve, and you think about the kids that would fit into those populations, we brag about our medical center, our medical staff a lot, but I think that what hits home for me about the Center for Courageous Kids, as a parent myself, um, is the fact that the fun doesn't stop for our kids. I think about a child with diabetes who goes to public school. It means you're going to have to stop to go to the nurse's office to check your sugar, or to get your insulin shot, or all those things. We do everything within our power to make sure nothing stops for them. Our medical team is always prepared and does go out to our kids. If you're in the barn having a big old time, and it's time for medicine, then they're going to meet you where you are. So I think being able to let them just be a kid for a week is just something that it's something they carry with them their entire lives. It's a really, really special opportunity to be able to give that to them.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
that's amazing.
I know PapaSmurfin, you talked about the fact that like summer camp is something that's ingrained in your memory from childhood. And that's really what summer camp is. It's a rite of passage for children. And, right now there's a huge shift going on in the way that we classify people with disabilities and those with special needs, and special needs is becoming increasingly derogatory, because at the end of the day, individuals who were born with or diagnosed with disabilities in childhood or later in life, their needs aren't special, are they? I mean, their needs are needs, just like we all have needs. Um, and so, in saying that, attending camp is a rite of passage that we think every child should be able to have, no matter what disability they may have been born with or may have been diagnosed with in childhood. And we really try to bridge that gap to make sure that when they come here, we don't have to say no to anything. Anything that we have available to do at the Center for Courageous Kids, anyone can do. And so that brings up the question that's in the chat right now, like, is there a community of groups that we work with to give families local resources? And our CEO and the culture in which we work, we are all encouraged to be a part of our local community as much as possible, as much as we can be with our jobs at the Center for Courageous Kids. And I, as an individual, sit on a planning committee for what we call in Warren County, Kentucky, which is part of the cities of where we're located, is the Possibilities Expo. And it was formerly known the Special Needs Expo, but we changed it for a lot of the reasons that I just discussed. But it's basically just a community event where any organization or advocacy group or educational organization or club, recreation, all kinds of stuff, we get together and we allow families the opportunity to come and experience that day for free, to be able to gather resources. And so the Center for Courageous Kids sponsors that Possibilities Expo every year. So in that way, we do work with a collective community so that the families that we serve also have the opportunity to learn about other resources that they can also link up with, because where we're recreational, in essence, there are a lot of other therapies and education opportunities and things like that that children with disabilities need to have access to. And so we're grateful that we have partnerships with those in our community that can help kind of bridge those gaps as well.
I would like to add, in addition to that, Emily touched earlier on healthcare partners. So all of our camps are diagnosis specific, and they are usually filled by a healthcare partner, and those are going to be community groups and associations, like Spina Bifida of Kentucky, the Down Syndrome Association of Middle Tennessee, So they're families who are within networks, and that association or hospital or pediatricians group is going to come together. All of our experiences here at CCK are offered at no cost to our families. So those healthcare partners and our really active fundraising program make sure that all of our program expenses are covered, so we can continue to offer that. I see a question about plans for more facilities. So there are a number of medical camp facilities across the United States, but the Center for Courageous Kids is an independent medical camp facility. So while there may be others like us, we are the one and only, in a lot of unique ways, actually, which we're really proud of, but also grateful to know that there are partners across the country who are serving kids in this unique way.
And then I see from Necrotic a question about a specific disorder, and if we're serving that group. What I'd like to go ahead I'm going to list our camp nurse, who is part of our full-time staff. I'm going to put her contact information because she's a great resource to run any specific diagnoses by. If you have a question for yourself or for anyone that you may know that may be interested in the Center for Courageous Kids, if we don't serve that illness group specifically, she can give great recommendations on if it's a good fit for another group that we're serving, if it's sort of a like illness, so that we can serve them at the same time.
That'd be fantastic. Thank you. We appreciate that.
You guys have got great questions. We really appreciate your curiosity. Are there any more?
Let's see. Let's give people a few moments. And what got you guys specifically into working with this organization?
Well, I am from this area, so I grew up in Bowling Green, Kentucky, which is where Western Kentucky University is located, and we're just about 20 minutes away from Scottsville, Kentucky, which is where CCK is located. So I grew up in the area, kind of knowing about it. I was recruited as a summer counselor, so I started working here in 2008 with the very first summer as a summer staff counselor. So I've been on the payroll since the beginning, and just worked 2 or 3 summers with my summers off from college. And then I was very lucky when I graduated college in December of 2009, there was a full-time position available on the program team, and I was able to kind of join the program team as a full-time staff member after that, and have just stayed here ever since, kind of working in a lot of different roles over the years and different departments, and now I'm in the communications. So I've been here, it's my only career experience. It's just what I know and what I love.
Perfect. You can definitely tell you're passionate about it.
Well, thank you.
Absolutely. This is why we put her on camera every time we can, because nobody tells the CCK story like Emily.
What about you, Alyssa?
Well, we talked earlier about our volunteer groups. Our largest volunteer group comes from a local university, and I was actually working at that university when CCK opened. So I knew that every summer we were sending our students to this camp down the way, about an hour and a half from where I was at the time, and fell in love just really with the stories that our students at Lindsey Wilson would come back and share. So I went on and did a few different things after I left that university, but one day I got an email from Indeed.com that a position that might interest me was available at the Center for Courageous Kids. So I threw my hat in the ring, and that was going into my 3rd year now here, and it's I think I say this at least once a week, but by far and away the best job ever.
It's amazing. Very nice. Well, you guys have been fantastic. We really appreciate all the information. And I think you guys have put on a wonderful little information session here. It's so great to just scroll through these photos. But yeah, if anyone else has any last minute questions, feel free to drop them into the flight deck chat. But we're going to be courteous of CCK's time. But this has been amazing. And thank you guys. I definitely thank Specialist Jay too for helping us out. But you guys did a fantastic job.
Thank you so much. Once again, just we really appreciate you kind of really taking the due diligence and making great decisions about the organizations you were bringing to this platform, and we just really appreciate being one of them. So thank you so much.
And we're happy to help. If hopefully you are our chosen organization, we can see a lot more of those smiling photos later down the line.
Yeah, we hope so too.
Awesome, guys. Well, I think that's it as far as the questions, and we'll be in contact. Feel free to drop any other info in here. But yeah, we appreciate everything.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Hope you have a great day.
Have a good
Bye,
day.
guys.
Bye.